America finds itself at a crossroads. From coast to coast, a wave of protests has engulfed all 50 states, a stark testament to the deep divisions that define the nation in 2025. Millions of Americans have taken to the streets, their voices echoing in a chorus of discontent. These hands-off protests, as they have been dubbed, represent a boiling over of frustration with the policies of President Donald J. Trump and his administration. The protests are not confined to major metropolitan areas. From the bustling streets of New York City to the quiet towns of Middle America, the message is clear. Americans are deeply unhappy with the direction of their country. Over 1,200 protest sites have sprung up, each a testament to the widespread anger and anxiety felt by a significant portion of the population. These demonstrations are not the work of a single group or ideology. A coalition of over 150 organizations has emerged, united in their opposition to the Trump administration. Civil rights groups stand shoulder to shoulder with labor unions. LGBTQ+ advocates march alongside veterans and election activists. This diverse tapestry of concerned citizens underscores the widespread belief that the principles of democracy and equality are under threat. One of the largest demonstrations took place in Chicago's Daley Plaza, where thousands gathered to voice their opposition to the president's policies. The sheer scale of the protest, the largest in the city since Trump took office, sent a powerful message about the level of discontent in the heartland of America. Similar scenes played out across the nation, from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., to the beaches of Southern California. The message was clear: America is a nation divided. However, allegations have surfaced that some protesters are being paid to participate. Many protesters vehemently deny these claims, insisting their participation is driven by genuine concern for the country's future. Despite the denials, the allegations have added another layer of controversy to an already charged atmosphere. At the heart of these nationwide protests lies a litany of grievances directed at the policies enacted by the Trump administration. While the president's supporters point to a strong economy and job growth, millions of Americans feel left behind, struggling to make ends meet in an increasingly uncertain economic landscape. The administration's recent economic policies, including a series of controversial tariffs and tax cuts, have drawn sharp criticism from economists and ordinary citizens alike. One of the most contentious issues revolves around the administration's drastic downsizing of the federal government. Thousands of federal employees have been laid off, with many essential services facing severe cuts. The closure of numerous Social Security Administration offices across the country has caused particular hardship, leaving vulnerable Americans without access to vital benefits. While the White House defends these cuts as necessary measures to streamline the government and reduce wasteful spending, critics argue that they are nothing short of an assault on the social safety net. Beyond economic anxieties, the protests also reflect deep-seated concerns about human rights and social justice. The administration's hardline stance on immigration, including the separation of families at the border and the attempted repeal of DACA, has sparked outrage and fear within immigrant communities. Similarly, the administration's efforts to roll back protections for transgender individuals have been met with fierce resistance from LGBTQ+ advocates and their allies. For many protesters, the Trump presidency represents a direct threat to the values of tolerance, inclusion, and equality that they hold dear. The hands-off protests, therefore, represent a confluence of anxieties and grievances that have been simmering for years. They are a cry for economic justice, a demand for social equality, and a desperate plea to protect the fundamental tenets of American democracy. As the nation grapples with these deep divisions, the question remains: will the president listen to the voices of dissent, or will he continue to govern in a manner that further alienates and angers a significant portion of the population? President Trump has never been one to shy away from bold, unconventional ideas, and his latest economic proposal is no exception. In a move that has sent shockwaves through Wall Street and beyond, Trump has unveiled a plan that could potentially lead to a controlled crash of the stock market. The goal, according to the president, is to make homes more affordable for everyday Americans. The logic behind this audacious plan is simple, if not simplistic. A stock market crash, Trump argues, would inevitably lead to a drop in home prices. As investors panic and pull their money out of the market, the real estate market would experience a downturn, creating an opportunity for those who have been priced out of homeownership to finally enter the market. While the president and his supporters believe this plan will ultimately benefit the American people, it has been met with a mixture of skepticism and outright alarm from economists and financial experts. Critics argue that a stock market crash, even a controlled one, would have far-reaching and potentially devastating consequences for the economy. They point to the potential for job losses, a decline in consumer spending, and a loss of retirement savings as reasons to be wary of the president's gamble. The White House, however, remains undeterred. Trump has repeatedly dismissed the concerns of economists as fake news and has urged Americans to trust his instincts. He points to his own success in real estate as evidence that he understands how to manipulate the market to benefit ordinary people. Whether this gamble will pay off or backfire spectacularly remains to be seen. Despite the nationwide protests, the controversial policies, and the constant media firestorm, President Trump appears to be weathering the storm. In a development that has left many political analysts scratching their heads, Trump's approval ratings have been steadily rising in recent weeks. This surge in popularity, particularly among his base of supporters, suggests that the president's message continues to resonate with a significant segment of the population. Trump's supporters, many of whom feel ignored and left behind by the political establishment, view him as a maverick, a disruptor who is not afraid to challenge the status quo. They applaud his willingness to take on powerful interests, even if it means bending or breaking the rules. For them, the protests and the media criticism are simply proof that Trump is fighting for them, for the forgotten men and women of America. Critics, on the other hand, view Trump's rising approval ratings with a mixture of disbelief and alarm. They argue that his policies are reckless, his rhetoric is divisive, and his disregard for democratic norms is dangerous. They worry that the country is becoming increasingly polarized, with the potential for violence and unrest growing with each passing day. The mainstream media, often accused of bias by both sides of the political spectrum, has struggled to make sense of the Trump phenomenon. Some outlets have doubled down on their criticism of the president, portraying him as a threat to democracy and a danger to the country. Others have adopted a more cautious approach, attempting to understand the root causes of his popularity and the grievances of his supporters. In the meantime, the American public remains deeply divided, uncertain of what the future holds. Gap 3S. Amidst the whirlwind of political controversy and public unrest, another narrative has quietly emerged, causing concern and confusion among many Americans: the status of Social Security offices. Rumors have been circulating that these vital institutions are being closed permanently, sparking fear among those who rely on their services. However, it's essential to set the record straight. No Social Security offices are being closed for good, just for remodeling. The temporary closures are part of a nationwide initiative to modernize and improve the facilities, ensuring they can better serve the public in the long run. While these renovations may cause temporary inconvenience, the ultimate goal is to create a more efficient and accessible system for everyone. The spread of misinformation in times of political and social upheaval is not uncommon. It underscores the importance of verifying information from credible sources before drawing conclusions. As the nation navigates these turbulent times, staying informed and discerning fact from fiction becomes more critical than ever. The remodeling of Social Security offices is just one example of how narratives can be distorted, leading to unnecessary panic and anxiety. It's a reminder that, amidst the chaos, there are still efforts being made to improve and strengthen the systems that support American citizens. Gap 3S. As we move forward, let's strive to seek the truth and understand the full picture, even when the world seems increasingly divided and uncertain. Gap 2S. Trump told us that this and everything else that's going on was his plan. This is what we voted for.